I had always been fascinated by legends, especially haunted places. When I heard about an abandoned train station at the edge of a remote village, I couldn't resist the urge to investigate. The village had warned travelers about the station, rumored to be haunted since a tragic accident decades ago. But it was almost midnight, and curiosity got the better of me. As I neared the old platform, a chilling silence filled the air, with only the distant hoot of an owl to break it. The station loomed ahead, deserted and cloaked in darkness. As I stepped onto the platform, a strange, cold breeze swept by, raising the hair on the back of my neck. The wind felt unnaturally cold, even for a winter night. Suddenly, I heard faint footsteps echoing from the other end of the platform. My heart raced. Looking around, there was no one there. But I felt watched, as if someone, or something, was there with me, hidden in the shadows, silently observing my every move. The station had a few broken lamps, one of which began flickering as I passed it. Its erratic glow cast eerie shadows across the walls, creating strange patterns that danced in the darkness. Then, the flickering stopped abruptly, and I was left in near darkness. Just as I began to turn back, a faint whisper brushed past my ear. It was almost inaudible, but it sounded like a cry for help. I froze, dread pooling in my chest. Was it just the wind, or something else? The silence was shattered by a distant, rhythmic sound, a faint chugging that grew louder with every passing second. I knew no trains ran on this line anymore, but it sounded like one was approaching. My heartbeat quickened as I watched the dark tracks. Through the fog, headlights appeared, approaching fast. But as the train came closer, I realized something was wrong. There was no train, only the sound and lights. Then, as suddenly as it had started, it all vanished, leaving me in silence once more. I turned, ready to leave, but froze when I noticed a shadowy figure standing at the end of the platform. It wore the uniform of an old station master, complete with a cap. The figure didn't move, but I could feel its hollow, empty gaze piercing through me. Gathering courage, I called out, "Hello." The shadow remained silent, but as I took a step forward, it suddenly dissipated, leaving a trail of mist in its wake. It was like he had never been there at all. I walked cautiously toward the old ticket booth. The once bustling booth was now layered in dust and spider webs. Inside, I found an old ledger book, untouched for years. Flipping through its pages, I noticed a peculiar entry: midnight train one-way ticket, no return. The name was blurred, but I felt an overwhelming sadness wash over me. It was as if the spirits trapped here were doomed to board this phantom train again and again. Suddenly, I heard multiple voices around me, low, despairing murmurs. They filled the empty station, echoing against the walls. Each whisper seemed like a plea for release, a cry from souls unable to find peace. I could barely make out their words, but one phrase repeated over and over: "Don't miss the train, don't miss the train." Panic gripped me, and I backed away, desperately wanting to escape the voices pulling me in. Just as I was about to run, the train's headlight reappeared in the distance. But this time, it wasn't just the light. I could see the outline of an old, decrepit train covered in rust and decay. As it came to a stop in front of me, the doors slowly creaked open. I felt an invisible force pulling me toward it, as if inviting me to board. The voices grew louder, and I could see shadowy figures seated inside, their faces pale and eyes empty. I knew if I stepped inside, I would become one of them, lost, forever riding this ghostly train. Summoning every ounce of strength, I tore myself away from the train's magnetic pull and stumbled back. The train's horn blared, a mournful, ghostly sound that reverberated in my bones. The doors slammed shut, and the train started moving, disappearing into the darkness as quickly as it had arrived. The platform was once again silent, but the chill lingered, as if the spirits were angry that I had escaped. Shaken, I stumbled off the platform and ran back toward the village, the haunted station growing smaller behind me. But the eerie silence and cold whispers still lingered in my mind, echoing even as I left the place. Even after reaching the safety of the village, the station's sinister presence stayed with me, as if I had brought part of its curse with me. Now, every time I hear the distant sound of a train whistle, I remember that night and the haunted souls who still ride the midnight train, forever trapped between life and death.